Well, there's no shame. There's no shame. She got an $11,000 nose job and then decided she deserved more. So she left her husband. I mean, who wouldn't, right? Awful. Well, we're going to get into it. We're going to examine this story a little deeper and just see what she had to say for herself. You won't believe it. Hi, welcome back to Far From Eden. The Daily Mail covered this story. And it's funny because I didn't realize this, but in the Daily Mail, they have this section. It's called the Female, Femail. Cute. This was written by Olivia Salamone, don't know. I like to always know if it's written by a man or a woman because I think the perspective sort of matters because we dissect that too over here. It was published at 11:01 on April 1st, 2025, like an April Fool's joke. My $11,000 nose job gave me clarity to ask for divorce. Clarity? Clarity of what? Anyway, hypergamy is alive and well, folks. And I don't think you needed me to tell you that. But the lack of shame is what is just astounding. That you would do this and then tell people. Like, she's not even lying. Not that I endorse lying, but she's not even lying, saying, oh, it has nothing to do with that. I just realized we've grown apart, blah, blah, blah. She didn't even do that. It's like, oh, well, let's see more detail. Maybe I'm judging. A woman who underwent an $11,000 nose job has explained how it helped her get clarity. Devin Aiken, 30, has opened up about how she grew apart, from her husband of 7 years, with the pair separating 2 years ago. But it was after Devin from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, underwent a nose job that she finally achieved the clarity, it's in quotes, to put herself first and ask for a divorce. Therein lies the problem with a lot of this filing for divorce situation. We covered it yesterday on the show about how men file less. And there was a bunch of all these baloney reasons of why. And it, of course, was there to make men look bad. And in reality, they have loyalty. They prioritize other things besides themselves. And that article made it out that was a bad thing, to have duty and to prioritize others over yourself. So this lady found the clarity to be selfish. Now she feels reborn after realizing she is strong and doesn't want to settle. These are all in quotes because these are words she used. Devin, who works at a drug addiction company, said, I was reborn in a way after the nose job. I thought, I'm choosing myself. I feel so happy. Well, life is all about feelings, right? This is the problem. This is a huge problem. Quote, you can start over whenever. I know what I want now. I don't have to settle. Quote, life doesn't end when you go through divorce. This is all propaganda spewing out of her mouth. These are things, and it's funny because the powers that be propagandize women because we tend to be a little more susceptible to it. And then it kind of comes in to us. Don't realize it's propaganda. We think we're like learning or it's truth or something. And then it spews out. So then we're propagandizing the other women. Life doesn't end after divorce. I mean, that is just programming, absolute programming. And I shouldn't have to settle. You might as well be a robot just spewing out those quotes that we hear repeatedly since the time we're young. Devin got married at 23 and says she felt stuck in the marriage, but felt she needed to stay in it to prove something to society. She said, quote, I stayed in a stagnant, unhappy marriage. The honeymoon phase wears off. Life isn't about feeling happy all the time. And 7 years tends to be that, remember there was a movie long time ago with Marilyn Monroe called The 7-Year Itch. Because after about 7 years-ish, she in particular is going to get bored and want something more and decide you're not living up to her expectations, standards, what she deserves, etc. And I think at that point, women realize, and maybe it's around 30 that we realize life is difficult. I know men are like, what? Yeah, because imagine this. Think about the way you were raised as boys and the way girls are raised. It's very different. Look, Thursday's episode when I talked to Alan Millard about what it's like growing up as a boy and how as young as 4 years old, you're kind of taught that, oh, ladies first, you're secondary. You don't matter as much. Well, look at it the other way around from the little girl's perspective. You matter more. You deserve everything. You can have it all. If that man doesn't treat you right, etc., etc., etc. No one says that to boys. So what does that do to little girls as they grow up? You get this warped sense of what life is supposed to be like and what it's supposed to feel like. And then when, you're experiencing actual real life, you think something is wrong. Because not only is it not fair, you're not privileged. Everything isn't, sunshine and roses and cupcakes. So we tend to interpret that as some kind of oppression, some kind of somebody else must be ruining it for us because life is supposed to be this, fairy tale, not like the real fairy tales because fairy tales are based, but the idea of the Disney fairy tale, right? Everything is wonderful. And boys and men are taught very early. It is not the case. It's not the case. And at some point, the boys / when they get to be men will come to realize no one's coming to save us. But girls always are raised to think someone is not only coming to save us, but they should come to save us. Otherwise, again, our life is not fair. We're the victim, etc. And that's how we get there. So I know that a lot of men struggle to understand that. And it's still hard to understand because it's not based in facts, is it? But that is the case. That's how you get here. So she stayed in a stagnant, unhappy marriage. Quote, it was wrong just to stay together because of all the time we'd had. That's that term you guys taught me yesterday. Sunken something. I'm so sorry. Oh, the MS brain is fun. The last few years we grew apart. Everything didn't align anymore. Again, just go back to what I said 3 seconds ago. The couple separated 2 years ago, which helped give Devin the push to do something she had always wanted to do, get a nose job. She'd been thinking about it, It's not like it just came to her because you guys saw. I don't blame her. Honestly, it's hard to say, well, you should never get plastic surgery because if I had that, was born with that sort of predicament, I think I would probably do the same thing, honestly. However, I wouldn't change what I thought I deserved. Her nose had always been her biggest insecurity, but she had never found the right doctor to make her pull the pew pew, I know, the hole puncher thingy on surgery. Devin said, middle school was rough with bullying. I was called a witch, toucan, Pinocchio. It's something I couldn't control. I have sympathy for that. I really do. After finding Dr. Ginsburg on social media, she booked her consultation and underwent the 5.5-hour surgery in November 2024 using her own savings to pay for it. That's what I was going to say. And her own savings. His money is our money, and my money is my money. To, make over $10,000 worth of a purchase. I would really love to know his side of the story. Love to know what he thinks about this. She spent 3 to 4 weeks recovering, and the swelling can take a year to go down fully. Oh, poor baby. Devin said, having so much downtime with my nose job, it gave me the time and clarity to think about divorce. It made me think, I can do this. I'm strong enough. But not strong enough to stay. That's the thing. Women are like, I'm strong enough. I'm strong enough. Be strong enough to follow through with your vow and your commitment. Be strong enough to support your husband and care to, take care of his needs as he should do for you, But we tend to like it only one direction and think if we're caring for his needs or there's anything expected of us, once again, that oppression word comes up. She filed for divorce in December of 2024. Aw, just around the holidays. That's so sweet. She said, I feel a sense of happiness. This is my me era. I'm not settling. TikTok is poison. This is all the garbage you see on TikTok over and over and over again. I don't know if you guys remember, but when I was first on TikTok trying to find content to show you guys, I went into TikTok so y'all don't have to. And all I saw, because the algorithm wasn't set up for me yet, and I just searched in there, things like women having trouble dating and, stuff like that. And it just fed me. You should leave your husband. You should leave your husband. Here's some tarot cards. It was all witchcraft and breaking up and being empowered to break up. That was constantly what it was throwing at me. And I thought, this is strengthening women like this. And this is just exactly the type of thing that I saw and heard on here. And I can almost hear you guys now like, why do they listen? We're susceptible. Clearly. It's not an opinion. It's the truth, because she's just repeating almost verbatim the type of things those women were saying on those TikToks. You guys remember the lady on TikTok saying, it's okay to leave the good guy. It's unbelievable. So she said, this is my me era. Straight off TikTok. I'm okay to be alone. I'm a strong, independent woman. She literally said that. Lola, she said she's a strong, independent woman. Do you believe that? She's standing right there. My little dog. By the way, I'm getting a pup cam. Okay. There's something coming from Amazon, so you guys can see her during the videos. Devin has been sharing her glow up on TikTok and has been flooded with comments and helped inspire others to leave their relationship. Now, I don't read these before I read them to you because I want to have fresh responses. If I've already read it and I've had those responses in my head, it's going to be a little watered down. Exactly what I said. Sharing her glow up on TikTok. Thing is, she saw other people's glow up on TikTok. Plus, she's 30. And women who turn 30, they say that we stay as attractive, but we know we don't. We know we don't, or we wouldn't be doing things to our face to look younger. We wouldn't be weird when someone asks our age. It's women know. Okay. We're totally lying about that, about I'm gonna be just as hot when I'm 40. So when they turn 30, they kind of want to be in their 20s. And the whole glow up thing, that's a Gen Z, that's a Gen Z term. And flooded with comments to inspire others to leave their relationships. Exactly, like the ones she saw. They're all leading each other off the cliff. He said, someone commented, I'm not married, but I need a divorce so I can have this glow up. It's not often I'm speechless. Quote, it's an internal glow. I radiate that externally. At least she's humble. Quote, people have said I look like Bella Hadid, Celine Dion, all sorts. Maybe Celine Dion. Bella Hadid also had a nose job. Anyway, Devin now feels optimistic for the future. He said, quote, I have my own apartment. I can decorate it like I want. What age are we? Does she sound 8 years old to you guys? I have my own apartment. I can decorate it however I want. All right. I was about to say, will it be full of like unicorns and sparkly things like a little girl? But then I was like, oh, right? But do you think that would be there if there was a man here? No, I would not. I would not do that. Anyway. Oh, I tell you, I don't read this ahead of time, but I know women. You guys, you have to listen to me. I know women. I know their minds. I know the types of things they think and why they think it. The next thing she said is, quote, I can have pink bed sheets. I'm going out more with my friends. I'm going to enjoy life, do some traveling and dating. I'm excited for that. I'm optimistic. It has been life-changing. I'm embracing and welcoming the change. I think she's going to be disappointed because, like I said, not all sunshine and rainbows. That's not what life is. And, great, you're going to have pink bed sheets. How shallow can a person be and have no self-awareness about it? Any guy, okay, let's think about her future dating, right? Any man, first of all, she put all this out there, right? Any man that she meets is going to find out that she had a nose job and then she filed for divorce because she didn't want to settle and she wanted to have her glow up. Man, do you think is going to want that? Men are intelligent. They do cost benefit ratio. You're a liability and you're incredibly shallow and selfish. This article could be summarized by woman gets plastic surgery. She's incredibly shallow and selfish. And it isn't because of the plastic surgery that she has those things. That was already inside of her, right? That she didn't just become shallow and selfish and all those things. She didn't just become those things. She was those things. And it was absolutely, she did the guy a favor. The man she divorced and they didn't have children. I don't believe in divorce at all. But in this scenario, she absolutely did this man a favor. This woman is not marriage material. She clearly is not interested in that. And if she's not, great. Vaya con Dios. Ma'am, there's no need to pretend to be something you're not, get the man, and then destroy his life. But once again, I'm glad she doesn't have children because then she's going to, wreck them because you can't, it just doesn't go. You can't be selfish when you have children. You can't be selfish when you're married. You just can't. So if this lady chooses to be selfish, then go on and do it. But it's not going to attract men of good character. I don't like saying high quality men anymore because that's just associated with wealth. And that it's not high quality necessarily. It's good character. Men of good character are going to reject this because they will see right through it. So who is going to be attracted to her as she's sort of preening and, sort of putting it all out there? It's going to be guys that see her for recreational use only. And those are not men of good character. She's going to get used up and wind up alone in her pink bed sheets in her apartment, decorated however she wants, with her nose that she loves. And that's going to be it. Because men are waking up and they're seeing through all this baloney. And they're not letting the hanky-panky part of the relationship to lure them in and trip them up because they've seen the risk and how it can absolutely destroy your life and derail you. And they're like, yeah, I don't need to be a part of that. But this lady is completely self-absorbed and lacks all self-awareness, so she doesn't see it. It's selfishness will not get you anywhere. You can glow up all you want, but you're radioactive. That's why you're glowing, woman. It's not because of anything good. So tell me what you thought about this. I'm sure you guys have your opinions about it, and sure you'll agree with me that he dodged a bullet. Well, he almost did. It grazed him, right? Anyway, protect your peace, protect yourself from these types of people because they're risky. Feed your souls, and I'll see you guys on the next one.